Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I want to comment on Japan's new initiative of the 4-day work week. So Japan is has the dubious distinction of being the world's oldest demographic, the highest percentage of people who are over 65 years old. Although I don't like measuring somebody by their chronological age, right? I hate it when people ask me how old I am. I prefer actual body age, right? Whether it be your physical capabilities or your intellect, right? So, for example, I have a hard time attracting people that are my chronological age, by the way, because I attract a lot of people who are older and younger. If I'm using my intellect to interact with people, like at a conference or even at a backgammon tournament, I tend to attract a lot of people who are chronologically older than me, right? But when I'm interacting physically with people, physical attraction, I tend to attract a lot of people who are way younger than me. So I hardly ever get to use my chronological age on my ID. In fact, a lot of times when I show my ID for various things, right, people think it's a fake ID. They have to take a good, careful look at it, make sure it's an actual ID. I went to a casino in Macau, and over in Macau, you only need to be 18 to gamble. If I remember correctly. And even then, the guy looked at my passport and he had to look very carefully because I was 32 years old at the time. I probably did. He probably had a hard time believing that. And sometimes at traffic stops too, right? Especially if I make a really stupid driving blunder of some sort, and the officer looks at me and almost thinks that it's kind of forgivable because he thinks I'm a new licensed driver. And then, oh, can I see your license? And not only is the license many years old, but I'm actually 36 years, 37 years old. He has a hard time believing that, right? And so he looks carefully, and so sometimes looks to make sure that the hologram is there and all that. I've had officers do that to me, by the way. And but Japan has the oldest demographic chronologically. I don't think physically they do though. Physically, that distinction probably belongs in the United States. I can't tell you how many times I've well, like I said, I attract a lot of people. I sometimes get attracted to many people that are way younger. Just yesterday, I was at a Christmas party, and there was this girl that I wanted to make a move on. I wasn't sure if she was old enough. Obviously, I can't just ask her how old she is, so I kind of found a roundabout way to ask about it. And I asked her if she remembered what she was doing when Katrina hit, because we were talking about the hot weather here in Phoenix. And she said, "Oh, I don't know. I was only 2 years old." And so I figured out how old she was, and she was old enough to date. And so, and that's when I recorded a video asking you guys to pray because I'm just about to go back to the tables and find out. And her mother was at the party, and unfortunately, she has a boyfriend. But it's good to know. Oh, and it sounds like they didn't disapprove of me anyway. So I think that dubious distinction belongs to the United States. But Japan wants to solve that by having a 4-day work week so that people can go out and fuck each other pretty much, right? And I don't think that's the right answer. I think the answer is do whatever people like to do, right? If the answer is that people like to, what I do like in Japan is that there is a lot less stigma for people to live alone. I stayed in a capsule hotel, and I had a couple roommates who have been living there for some of them for decades, and there are no stigma attached to that. They cook their own meals. I had a number of good conversations. Unfortunately, the Japanese don't speak English very well, but even speaking through my phone, I had a number of good conversations, and these are and there's a lot less stigma there, right? I feel like I could live there and not have to worry ever about dating again. I really do. I really do. And I think Japan will probably be one of the first countries that legalizes one to marry themselves, right? I'd much rather see actually strike that. I think we should just abolish all government sanctioned marriages rather than force people to do what uh, quote unquote seems popular, right? People should just be free to do whatever they want. Now, a 4-day work week is one of the better solutions because they don't tell you to go have maternity leave, right? They just tell you to go enjoy your life, right? For some people, that could involve fucking each other and having children, right? For some other people, it could involve looking for a new chemical element to add to our periodic table, right? For yet other people, it might involve some art projects, right? And I think that's beautiful. The only thing I dislike about that is that it's a regimented schedule. It's a 4-day work week. I'd much rather people take off when they want to take off. In an ideal world, we should have 365 work days and then just have a lot of vacation days, right? Maybe you just have to come any 200 days of the year. And some people might find it beneficial to binge work those 200 days and then have a nice long sabbatical at the end. Other people might find long weekends to be more suited. Other people like me might go out to see a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse when it comes up, right? But it would be a choice, right? Nobody would be forced to take Christmas Day off. And also, the nice thing about that is that if you do take Christmas Day off, you might find that you could actually go to your favorite restaurant. They won't be closed, right? Now you might say, but nobody would work Christmas Day. Well, that's something that the free market could solve, right? If nobody would work Christmas Day, you could pay somebody. If you paid me $100 an hour, guaranteed I would work Christmas Day, right? Actually, I'd work for a lot less than that because I don't give a fucking thought about Christmas, right? But for some people, it might take 100, it might take 1,000. For me, it probably just takes double what I normally make, right? Or not even, right? And so the market would pretty much adjust itself and we could enjoy lives a whole fucking lot better, right? Rather than the government telling us what to do, when to take off, and all that, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.